We live in a time where change is happening at a pace never seen before.
Digital is the next industrial revolution. Digital technologies opens up a lot of doors.
Cutting-edge tech is changing the way we live, work and play.
Wow.
All businesses today are dealing with mega structures. The competency comes from the ability to manage the data, to manage the information, to manage the process.
Industry 4.0 basically augments human performance.
The pressure is on for every sector to be faster, better, smarter.
So the schedule is really very tight. Turnaround time is really an asset that we don't have.
Giving good service is not good enough. People expect personalized service and people want to feel special.
And it really requires a complete change in how do we think and how do we serve our customers.
My name is Shivvy Jervis, and as a futurist, it's my job to take you into the future, unearthing the latest innovations transforming the world around us, and perhaps even within us. Air travel demand is expected to double by 2035. With this added pressure, airline companies are going to need to manage their assets even more efficiently. I want to understand what digital tools they're using to make this happen and ensure that their aircrafts are ready for takeoff. My guide on this part of the journey is Royston from SIA Engineering Division. In any normal situation, you would have to wait for something to break before fixing it. But in aviation, this isn't an option.
Top value should be 945 inch pound for the chip-off. 945.
So we're looking at an integrated drive generator that is currently being replaced on the aircraft engine due to a defect that was picked up by the aircraft systems.
Okay, what is an integrated drive generator then?
Generator that derives power from the turning of the engine blades to generate electricity for everyone on board, powering the various aircraft systems and your in-flight entertainment. So we're trying to use the latest technology to shift reactive maintenance when something crops up at an untimely occasion to predictive maintenance so that we can do something proactive before it actually fails on board.
SIA Engineering Division is able to access thousands of sensors worth of data, some recording at up to 8 times a second, to detect precursors to potential problems weeks in advance, such as, for example, an engine part which may be running just slightly hotter than normal, or airflow that appears to be marginally slower due to an obstruction building up. By working with agencies such as the Agency for Science, Technology and Research, ASTAR, and using artificial intelligence methods such as machine learning to examine sensor data, this system can flag problems before anything can go wrong. The aviation industry is dynamic and things can change quickly, just like the weather. The importance of continuous, real-time data feeds cannot be underestimated.
Using live data from our fleet. So we can see that the 380 fleet is looking healthy. There are some alerts that we should be concerned with on the 777. Once you zoom into this particular defect on this aircraft tail, for example, what you want is not to confuse the engineer. So what the algorithm gives out is a single risk factor, which represents the probability of failure that component will have in the coming weeks or months. That's the application we use to make decisions so that people on the ground know when to replace the part, when it's something that is real.
Yeah. Other than developing predictive maintenance using data streams from airplane black boxes, engineers are able to use the data to create perfect digital replicas of their engines. These digital doppelgangers can be tested for future malfunctions, allowing them to be repaired weeks or months before they ever happen. No one understands the potential use of these digital twins better than the data scientists at Rolls-Royce. The engines that they're building for Singapore Airlines are some of the smartest in the world, equipped with an astonishing array of sensors for gathering data.
Today, depending on the engine type, you'd have anything between 25 and 200 parameters acquired from the engine in flight. When you think about 6,000 Trent engines operating at any point in time, that could be something like 10,000 data points coming through our data processing system. This has allowed Rolls-Royce to develop its intelligent engine service.
The intelligent engine is a digital twin of the Rolls-Royce jet engine with a distinct advantage. This virtual copy is constantly updated with data coming from engines in the real world. If the real engine gets a dent, the virtual engine does too. This allows Rolls-Royce to know exactly how each engine will respond to challenges and accurately see the future of how it will perform. That is just the beginning.
The digital twin will help describe to us how the different aspects of the engine's design would perform better or worse. The digital twin is used in conjunction with that data to help us understand how we might be able to improve the design of the engine and how we can better appreciate how the engine is going to perform in different types of extremes.
The deluge of data being collected is mind-boggling. But as smart as the engines are getting, there's one thing that airlines haven't been able to replace: the pilot. But Singapore Airlines has found a way to use digital mapping of information to help pilots make crucial decisions about how to keep the planes in the sky, which I'm a huge fan of. I'm about to meet Captain KK Goh, a pilot with Singapore Airlines. I want to understand how he and his team are using the power of data analytics to better drive safety and efficiency in their flights. So when you're up in the air, or indeed on the ground planning for your route, there must be a lot of critical issues that are on your mind. What are some of those elements?
Well, there are. We have to check the status of the aircraft, the route that we are planned on, what is the weather on the route, and what is the weather at the destination airport, what is the traffic conditions are over at the airport there, and whether we have got sufficient fuel to complete the mission.
My tech nerd sense is tingling. Surely Singapore Airlines is using the data coursing through their planes to help them map future flights. To get to the bottom of this, I'm going to go to the cockpit.
So today we are going out to Bombay. This app lists most recent 30 flights inside this particular app. And as you scroll towards the end...
Right, something a little unusual happening there?
You see that the aircraft has been put into a hole. There were 2 holes over here. And as it moved closer towards Bombay, they took an extended vectors before they landed there. And this probably accounts for the additional time that it took for the flight to land in Bombay, as well as the additional fuel. And these data are very useful for the pilot in arriving at the decision to load the fuel necessary for the mission.
Captain Goh has to plan the right amount of fuel as contingency. Too much weighs the plane down, resulting in inefficiencies. On the other hand, too little may increase operational risk. With all the required data at his fingertips through this app, Captain Goh can plan the needs of his future flight with unparalleled accuracy. Impact on fuel consumption and efficiency, but also safety.
That's right, yeah. Safety is always the key, is always our top priority. We have never compromised on that.
Digital twin technology is giving industries amazing new insights into how things work. But what happens when we develop rich digital copies of our world and unleash autonomous robots into it? In Singapore, I can get a front row seat to this takeover of the world by our new robotic overlords. A restricted site in Singapore. A figure skulks about the premises. He trips an invisible alarm, triggering a red alert and an immediate response from a tactical team. This may seem like a normal security system, but digging deeper, the digital mechanism behind it is far more powerful and sophisticated than anything the world has seen before. ST Engineering's DRONET program is creating real-time digital maps of the physical world and analyzing it for immediate action. It's the future of safety and security.
So for this application, we are patrolling the perimeter of the facility to make sure that there's no one lingering around the area.
What kind of anomalies and threats can such a system detect?
Depends on the use cases. So for a public safety use case, we are training our algorithms to pick out unusual things that, for example, a person is holding a knife or a weapon, that you could alert the public servants that something could be going on somewhere.
So preempting a situation before it actually turns dangerous,
yes,
which is very, very valuable. Through a combination of advanced computer vision and artificial intelligence, the DRONET program can make instantaneous assessments from surprisingly little data. And in terms of working out that distinction between an approved employee who's meant to be there and someone that shouldn't be on the premises? Is this going into actually analyzing the micro features of the person and matching it to a database?
Yes. So we could use different features from the human. So what they wear, how they look like, their height, or even facial recognition. With that, we could compare and cross-match to our database to ensure that what we are seeing, whether it's a friendly employee or it's a potential intruder.
Right, so very clever algorithms in play here.
Yes, it's all working behind the scene, and this is the outcome that we want. And not just flying a drone, not just automation. What you want to get out of it is an application-based platform.
Analytics is just the start of the innovation here. Digging further, I discovered that there's a layer of robotic automation that makes it possible to monitor facilities 24/7. And it's housed inside a futuristic robotic sport ripped right out of a sci-fi novel. ST Engineering's Drobot.
What it does is it houses a drone from the weather elements such as rain and sun. At the same time, it has its own smartness to prepare the drone for flight. And after it lands back, it would do a health monitoring as well as do replenishment such as battery replacement. What it does is it stores sufficient batteries to support continuous flights. So the batteries are removed from the drone and put into a compartment for self-charging. And because we have 4 batteries in a drum, it gives you a 24/7 flight capability.
Through this huge technical leap forward in robotics, Dronet is capable of providing real-time virtual analysis of the physical world on a continuous basis. The translation of the physical world into a virtual simulation allows for powerful capabilities, but Sembcorp Marine is flipping this digital twin dynamic on its head. The virtual copy comes first, the real-world version later. The result is an impressive feat. Sleipnir, the world's largest semi-submersible vehicle.
I'm Jack GELUK. I'm the future captain of this beautiful vessel. The Sleipnir is a semi-submersible crane vessel, which is specially built for doing very heavy lifts. We install oil platforms all over the world for every oil company who asks for it.
In order to achieve an engineering feat of this magnitude, the shipbuilding experts at Sembcorp Marine have relied on digital twin concepts to achieve the impossible.
There's a huge amount of data in the entire life cycle of building a vessel. It started right from the design stages. And in this phase of the project, we literally sort of digitally built the vessel in the computer world. We built the digital physical twin of the vessels, piece by piece.
Once the design is complete, advanced algorithms are used to break down the ship design into the millions of pieces needed to make the completed ship.
Sleipnir has about more than 1 million components. We will break down piece by piece each of these components and then lay them out in plate nesting diagram, where the plates are optimally arranged to save material.
To cut each of these parts, Sembcorp Marine uses advanced robotics to carry out these mammoth tasks swiftly and accurately. Each piece has a digital smart code, allowing them to track each piece in real time. Quite like the world's biggest IKEA furniture. The automation doesn't stop at just cutting. Sembcorp Marine also use advanced robotics to do precision welding in 3 dimensions.
The machine has been taught in our development process to be smarter, so that they are able to handle the sophisticated welding configuration. The dimensional control can never be achieved with manpower alone. Machine and automation provide the consistency that we need to achieve for a sophisticated vessel like Sleipnir.
This record-breaking colossus is not only a marvel of brute strength, but also a triumph for digital innovation.
It's a privilege to be part of this team and to build this magnificent vessel, because I think she has a wonderful future.
Our business today are dealing with mega structures. This is where we are good in doing, but the competency comes from the ability to manage the data, to manage the information, to manage the process. And without the use of digital tools, we are unable to achieve such a mega task.
With dexterous and intelligent super robots on our side, the future is being built one chip at a time, taking virtual models and wrestling them into physical assets. Digital technology is enabling the most established of industries achieve a level of efficiency and precision previously unimaginable. And these changes are taking place all around us, from revolutionizing the way products and services are made, right down to our interactions with companies.
Hi, I'm Kris, your beta bot.
What is the baggage allowance on business class?
For business class, you can check in up to 40 kilograms of baggage for free.
I know what you're thinking. Another one of those automated telephone voice systems. Well, this couldn't be further from the truth. This is Kris, the Singapore Airlines chatbot that's equipped to answer commonly asked questions spanning from baggage to check-in. On top of being at your service 24/7, Kris is also a speedy, friendly bot.
Kris, being a newborn, has to be taught, right? Just like a child. We'll create the utterances for this user story, and then we run it up there. You have to teach it to understand what are people asking, so as to be able to provide an accurate answer. There are thousands of ways a customer can be asking the same question. So what the team would do is to brainstorm various ways of asking a question.
I'm thinking of a broken English sentence, just in case.
Extra bag of mine, excess baggage. Okay. Well, when we first start off with a feature, we have to ensure that we have at least 30 different ways of asking the same question. Once we release a feature, we will be getting real responses from customers, and now with those, our human trainers will actually input them and train Kris further. Okay.
And that's how human-assisted machine learning works. But what happens when his trainers leave him to fend for himself and he encounters a question he wasn't trained for? That's when Kris comes into his own. He breaks it down and looks for the most likely match in his database. If the answer works for the customer, Kris adds this association to his database. The longer Kris is at work, the better he gets at understanding how we think and what we need. For example, checking on the lowest fare possible for the flight you want.
Okay, Google, talk to Singapore Airlines, please.
With Kris, SIA has become the first airline in Southeast Asia to provide flight info on Google Home.
Have a great day.
Kris makes life better not just for the customers, but for the staff as well. It is able to handle a large volume of customers' requests and frees up the agents to tackle more meaningful work in serving the customers.
Digital technologies opens up a lot of doors. The whole customer engagement can be brought to a higher level because technology will enable us to recognize a customer, understand their needs, and even preempt what they would like to ask for.
I've spent so much time looking at these digital twins and seeing how they interact with the physical world. But as a futurist, I know that the next step is just around the corner. I want to step inside the matrix.
I'm about to meet a really exciting team. Two of the co-founders of VALKYRIE Industries, KOUROSH and Ivan, who are going to talk me through what their wearable technology is going to do to merge the digital and virtual worlds together and incorporate that missing aspect, right? Going beyond visual and auditory and bringing in a sense of touch in a digital space. I can't wait.
VALKYRIE Industries is creating a first-of-its-kind wearable tool that lets you feel and touch objects more naturally in a virtual simulation. Our sensors mimics the exact same way that your mind and your body sends electrical impulses to your muscles to activate something that you're holding, picking up, lifting.
Getting ready to enter the virtual world, the first thing to do is calibrate the world to match my exact physiology.
So now I'm gonna run the activation, and if you feel something...
I do.
You do feel. Where do you feel something?
In this portion here.
So what do you feel?
It's sort of buzzing almost.
Great. So this will be your lowest sensation. We're gonna go higher.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, it's like an electrical sort of buzz on my skin.
So we're gonna go slightly higher.
Oh. Yeah. Oh my God. All right. That definitely felt a bit like a bit not shock therapy, but a bit intense.
A bit intense.
Ooh.
And now, the moment of truth. Climbing into the suit and into a virtual world that I can actually touch.
This goes on over electrodes to push the electrodes slightly on the skin, and as well it has sensors that track your arm.
Right, okay.
So now we're putting the helmet on, and you will need to calibrate your arm.
Let's do it.
Perfect.
Aha, I'm in an industrial-like gym.
You're in Valkyrie gym, that's right.
God. Aha, right. Oh, there we go. Exercising in the virtual world.
Great. Now let's experience another scenario, the samurai sword.
Aha.
So,
wow, right, okay.
now turn around. And you see these wooden poles.
Right.
So now we can smash them.
Brilliant. This is very Hollywood-esque. Aha!
So now you feel both the mass of the sword,
Yes.
some vibrations in your muscles, and you have feel the impact of the poles,
Lovely.
of breaking the poles.
I might go for a third, actually. What's really interesting for me is as I spend more time in this virtualized world and I feel like I'm actually grasping this sword and I'm sort of swiping at the wood in front of me, it does start to feel like that line between my on and offline world is increasingly not just blurred, but actually starts to disappear, such that the immersive world is suddenly my real world. In all that I've seen, it's clear to me that nations, industries, cities, and organizations of all shapes and sizes are truly exploring and embedding all this new digital innovation for better outcomes. This could be at state level with urban planning or advanced smart city infrastructure, or at business level with aviation industry icons such as Singapore Airlines.
For Singapore Airlines, our vision, our aspiration is to be the leading digital airline in the world. We want our operation to be efficient and effective, to offer the best customer experience, and we want our employees to be together with us to create a digital workforce.
And so as the world becomes more digital, this is increasingly an area of focus so that we can continue to provide the customer service we're famous for. Singapore Airlines epitomizes customer service. I mean, it's deeply in our DNA.
Ultimately, though, in all of this, it's us everyday citizens that truly stand to benefit from all the rapid advances and technologies coming from the innovation world. And we need to ensure that we use these tools in the most meaningful way in order to build a truly sustainable future for all.